Hi guys, welcome back. Anyone that's new, welcome to the channel. Right, I don't know if you've all watched the last little video I've done, skew chisel, just my opinion, just what I think. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but I'm an expert of what I do. Okay, little bit, I think, before I go on to, because I'm going to do some with the hollowing, the new hollowing tool that I'm doing, I want to do a little bit on spindle gouges. Okay, because I thought I'll do traditional, I've been asked to do it, so if I touch on a little bit, I've done bowl gouge, talked a little bit about that. I ain't done proper demonstration. Done the comparison with what the equivalent carbide tool would be for that. We've done the skew, you know, the equivalent to that would be square chisel. So spindle gouges, right? Okay. Difference, first off, quick one, and I'm not treating anyone like they're silly, but new turners, you might not know. Experienced turners, this video is not for you, so don't worry about it. You can watch it, you're more than welcome. We never know too much, do we? We can always learn a little bit. Right, quick one, very quick, right? No one's an idiot, so I'm not treating you like that. Right, difference, bowl gouge, the flute is deeper than a spindle gouge. Okay, these are both 1/2 inch. Have you got, oh sorry, I'm camera, right.
That's it.
Both 1/2 inch. Now what you'll notice, the flute on this is deeper than the flute on this. What's the difference? Right, that, because those edges are rolled over, that makes that stronger than that. You get a flat piece of metal, it'll bend. You put it on its edge, you can't bend it. That's all it is. Size is the same, grinds, I've got exactly the same grinds, exactly the same angle grind. I feel I'm on a don't quote me, but about 40 degree grind, 40, 45 I tend to like on my gouges here. Grind's the same, it's all the same. Can I use that on a bowl? Yes, I can. I can turn a bowl with that. The trouble is when you get deeper on a bowl, or you go for a big bowl, you'll find you'll get a bit more flex, a bit more vibration, so it's not the best. When I first started turning, I didn't have a bowl gouge, and I used a spindle gouge. Like I've said before, there's no rules, there's no laws. There isn't a rule book for wood turning. There are no laws. No one's going to come and cart your way because you're using the wrong chisel, okay? They might because you waffle on a bit too much, but they, you know, that's that. So, right, difference, bowl gouge, spindle gouge. We've done bowl gouge, we're not doing that again. Right, spindle gouges, different grinds, okay. You can have a long swept back grind. I don't like it. I've got 1 or 2 tools I do. If I compare these two here, both exactly the same size chisel, okay. This one has a longer sweep back on it. This one has that one. My preference is for this one, okay. My preference. The reason I like that, it makes it a lot less aggressive. I can ride the bevel a lot more. The only trouble when I have both grinds, okay. This is the same size chisel again, exactly the same. But you'll notice it's the same grind, same angle. But on this one, I put a second bevel, okay. Now, I just say a second bevel. Some say it's a micro bevel, some say a relief bevel. I just put a second grind on it, right? And we'll talk about what that does, okay. So that's those tools. That's just your difference between it, just so you know, okay. Like I said, when I first started turning 35 years ago, I didn't have any of these tools. I didn't have bowl gouge, spindle gouge. My first tool was a screwdriver. And some of you, I'm not going to say more mature turners because that sounds like a piece of cheese. Some of you older guys, older than me, right? Like me, I'm older than someone that's younger than me. So some of you older guys out there might remember them. Some of the younger ones might know. The old screwdrivers, I don't know what they're called, but they sort of came down this shape and they very flat. And they went in, they went out, they come down, and the handle was a bit of wood and it had a big round bit on the handle like that. That's what I had. And I sharpened that up and I turned the table leg with it because we needed a new table leg because I broke one. And I turned the table leg. I had an old lathe, I don't even know what it was called. It was just some old real rubbishy yellow box lathe. It had 1 speed on it and that was it. It clang, 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 clang as it turned. But it spun the wood round and I managed to turn. And I managed to turn, that's what I used. It was all I had. It wasn't because I was poor or they weren't there. It's just, I didn't have them. I didn't know nothing about it. and that's how I started. So I learned very quick how to make some tools and how to roll my tool and get it to cut, and that's what I had to do. Couldn't just scrape it all. Sandpaper, you didn't have none of this was around 35 years ago. You didn't have none of these sanding pads and all this posh stuff. You turned nowadays, you got bloody easy, you have. Us Woolworths, little pack of mixed sandpapers. As soon as you touch the wood, all the grit went off of it. You was doing a bit of paper. Didn't matter what the grit was. That's what you had. Right, anyway, let's get back to this. Spindle gouges. Right, now this is not a comparison. I do not do versus, okay? I don't do traditional versus carbide. Load of rubbish. It's not like, go and have a fight and let's see who wins. I don't do that. That is the same as that, and that is the same as that if you use them the same, okay? And this is what I'm going to show you today. If you can use a spindle gouge, you can use that. If you can use that correctly, you will use that. This will not stop you learning to use this, okay? Because you use them both the same way. I don't know whether any of you see Colin Way yesterday. He done the little review on Easy Wood Tools. As he said, it's the same as me. He's been turning, you know, he said 40 years. I think he's been about 36 years. So he's 3 years younger than me. You'd never believe it, would you? He must have had a rough life. Anyway, yeah. And as he said, his natural instinct is to roll it. But he did, is that Easy Wood Tools, their thing is you hold it. So that answered questions for you guys anyway, because I get asked all the time, can I do this with my Easy Wood Tools? And I said, look, you need to follow what your guidelines are. Easy Wood Tools say no, their tools are to be used flat. Bar flat, push in, scrape. They're scrapers. That's it. Okay? They are only to be used to scrape, not used to cut. Mine are not for that. I don't recommend you use them like that. Right. I'm just going to go through here and I'm going to show you, right? So Lisa's going to get you onto this piece of wood here. And you'll see with this, I have this relief. Why do I have that? Because it allows me to make tighter little turns. I can follow a curve with that. If that's one complete bevel, I lose it. I end up on heel and tip, and that's when you get problems, okay? So that is very handy, depending on what you use your tool for. Now, I'm not wearing my mask today because I'm very, very close to the camera. I've got the camera right on top of me here. And it will keep going, but I'm only taking very small cuts and light bits. So I'm going to spin the wood up, okay? Now I will come in with my spindle gouge, and now you all know that's just touching there, so don't worry about that. It's just making that little bit of noise. There's gone. I like making little birdhouses. I'll have to take you out one day, show you the underneath of my pagoda, well, my gazebo. No, it's a pagoda. My pagoda that I built. The roof is absolutely covered. All the inside, it's just got hundreds of hanging birdhouses. I love them. Right. Anyway, this is how I will come in. Okay. So I'm riding my bevel, and I will come down like this. Okay. Now you can see my bevel's touching. I'm coming in, I'm riding my bevel. Just doing a straight cut. Now, like I said, the equivalent to that. That's a 1/2 inch, okay? So that's a 1/2 inch spindle gouge. This is a 12mm round carbide chisel. Now, watch. Now you can see, you must be able to see these, look at this. Can you see that? That has not just been scraped off. Look how long this is, look. It's broke, right. So, come in the same. Here we go, look. Right? Because we've got our bevel, okay? If we compare these two, right? Look at this. I've got the bevel, I've got the bevel. I've got a relief cut, I've got a relief cut. Those are no different, okay? So now, what you want to do, if you're going to practice, and this is what you should do, or no, it's not what you should do. This is what I would say I would do. This is how you can learn, right? So, I never say this is what you should do. You do what you want to do. You put what grind you want on your tool. You use your tool how you want to use it. Don't let anyone tell you, don't do it like that. What you do is what you do, okay? Right, now, so I pick that tool up and I make that cut. Now I put that tool down and I pick this tool up and I make that cut. I pick this tool up and I make that cut. I pick this tool up and I make that cut. Now why can I do that? How can I just jump from one chisel to the other and do this? The reason, because I'm not changing. I'm not changing anything. Look, get a nice smooth cut. I'm not changing, nothing's changing. This won't take as big a cut as this because of the design of the tool. This is flat on top, this isn't, okay? You've got a very small flat there. It's just the design, the way the tool's designed. This one here, and yes, I'm just come up a fraction on that. Right, I am turning with 2 chisels in my hand, yes. This tool here will take a bigger chunk, okay? That will take a bigger chunk than this one. But, depending, if I really want to go for it, yeah, I can get in there and I can chunk some wood out if I want, okay? But, now to skip back. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Don't worry about that skip back, okay? You didn't see that. That was added extra. That was a commercial break. Right, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Now I'm just going to clean this up. All right, so if you're in a rush and you've got to really get this done quick, then grab one of these and do it. It will be quicker. But if you're not in a rush and you're turning for a bit of pleasure and you're enjoying yourself, use both, use whatever. That is what I'm getting. You can see this. I'm getting this off of the Carbide. This is not scraped. There is no... If that's scraped, these fibres would be squashed up, okay? They'd be like, you know, you folded it all into pieces. That's what happens when you scrape, okay? When you cut, you get this long, continuous fibre. So, you know, you're cutting. You've also got... Let me just show you that finish. Now my last cut was done with a Carbide chisel, and that's that finish, okay? That's the difference between cutting and scraping. Don't look, I'm not going to say don't scrape, please don't take me on you know, the way I talk is the way I talk. I make no apologies for it. I was born in southeast London born and raised. I make no apologies for it. I moved to Essex. We won't talk about that. Now I live in the north. I'll come to the north because, you know, Game of Thrones, I blame for that. The north looked better than the south. Right, I've been as far as you can go south, as far as you can go west, as far as you can go east. I like the north. I haven't been up to Scotland because, well, men walking around in skirts. I've got to get used to that idea yet. we'll wait on that one. Right, anyway, go. No offence intended, don't worry. Right, I actually like the idea of a kilt myself, actually. I think I might have that for my wedding. Right, if you scrape, you're not going to get that finish. Never, ever, ever in a million years are you going to get that finish if you scrape, okay? You've got to cut. Right, so that's your 1/2 inch. Now, we're going to go over to, again, the same. This would be the 3/8, okay? Some call it a 10mm, I call it 3/8 spindle gouge. Again, I've got my relief bevel. Right, the equivalent to that, 9mm. 9mm round. We can see we've got the same, we've got the relief, we've got the bevel, okay? Now, the beauty with this one, if you want to get really tight curves, you could knock this bit of bar back and have a nice small bevel. That's up to you, okay? I don't do it like that because, as I said, if you want to adapt your chisel, you adapt it, right? So now, spin 3/8, okay, I'm going to come in. Now I'm on a 3/8, and this is the reason, because I've got both 3/8 here, I think. No, I haven't got it down. Right, hang on, let me grab this one. So many chisels here. Right, this one doesn't have the relief on the back. So when I come down here, I'm going to do this slowly. Right, now, keep watching for the bevel, because as I come down here, the bevel, when I get to this curve here, It's not over. I'm going to get a tighter curve. Hang on, let me get a nice tight curve on this and show you. Right. Now, I've put that tight curve on this with this chisel, and for that whole curve, look, you can see, can you see my bevel? Yes, you can, right. That bevel is in contact the whole way around. There, now, can you see that little cut, that little, it's just wisping, look, it's like an angel's eyelash. See it? That's the only way I can describe. Right, that is because the tip is touching, the bevel's rubbing, the tip is coming into contact and making a cut. I'm following it round. Right, now I can maintain bevel contact for the whole of that cut. But if I don't have that relief and I come down with this one, now look, where's the eyelash coming from? Here. I cannot maintain that same cut. When I get to here, if you can see, I've got my heel and I've got my tip. What you'll get from that is if I try to follow that curve, I will come round here, I'll get this, look, if I press that, I'll get this shiny mark. That's your heel rubbing, okay? That's what you will get. Nothing wrong with it, but it's what you will get. So when I come down here, this starts cutting a lot sooner because it can't follow the curve because of that bevel, okay? Sometimes but you might try to roll it back a little bit so you can get in there, but then you've got your edge up, it's gonna grab, it's gonna pull you over, mark your wood. That's on your final cut, you're gonna be pretty upset, okay? That's why we have this bevel here. Right, now, the equivalent is your 9mm round. Now, I can come in, and I can follow that same bevel. I can follow that same cut, look. Right, so how can I just go from that straight to that? Well, one, I've been doing it a long time, fair enough. But the reason I can do it is because I'm using that exactly the same as that. It's no different to me, it feels the same. I could just go down there, pick a tool up to do something and go, oh well, never mind, that's a carbide. Well, we can go with that. There we go. And I'll come in, and like I said, you can see the shavings coming off. And all those shavings have gone right there, and look at that, okay? Again, it's not scrunched up, there's no scrunching to it, it's all lovely, look, okay? Now, and yes, if you want to if I want to come into here, out just a little bit, and I want to do a little cove, and I want to come in here, and in here, like this, you know. Now, again, for new turners, why do I come in here and then come in here? Because everyone will tell you can't cut uphill. Well, if your tool's sharp enough, you can. There's no laws, there's no rules. But what you can do, see, is if you don't feel comfortable coming down both ways, take a bit of getting used to, why don't you come down that way? And then why don't you give yourself a little back cut and come down that way? And do a little back cut. You're still cutting, you're still cutting downhill. It can be easier. So you can go that way and you can come back down that way and that way. But the ideal way, get used to it, learn to do it, come down this way to the middle, come down this way to the middle. Get your tool, get a nice little brush like that. Look, angel's eyelashes again. There we go, lovely smooth, okay? Let's just show you. Right, there we go, there's the cut. Lovely and smooth, look at that finish on that. Okay, now that's with, obviously that's with the spindle gouge. But supposing by accident, because they all feel the same to me, I picked up this one. Oh, that's a carbide one. Well, we can do the same, we can come in. I might not get quite as tight a curve, but as I said, if I adjust my bevel, if I adjust my bar, I could get just as tight a curve. I think I'm going to manage it with this. I'm rolling over, just get that little, look, yeah, there's the angel's eyelash, get that out of the way. Right, let's have a look. We'll have a look and see what the difference is. Well, I can't really tell the difference, really. I don't know. Someone will have to put that in the comment what the difference was there. Okay, so there you go. That's how you can do. See, I can come in and I can follow that round. But what you got to do is you got to do this roll it action. Come in and cut. Come in with that side there. It's a cutter. It cuts. Come in and cut, and then follow around, and you'll get it. And if you do it, if you practice, get one of each and practice. Take a cut with that. Take a cut with your carbide. Take a cut. If you use your carbides like this and you ain't got your traditionals, okay, when you get your traditional, be a doddle, because you've been practicing with this. But one benefit with this, and it is definitely a benefit, is if I come down here and I happen to come over a little bit, that just starts scraping, okay? But if I come down here with this and I come over a little bit too much, that's a catch. That's going to dig in and that's going to catch, okay? That's going to mark that wood. So if I come down and I happen to roll it back a little bit too much, there's a catch. That's where your catch is going to happen. Your catches are going to be with your wings here. And a lot of time with skip back, which we're going to talk about that in a minute. Because as you see, I've deliberately got that one earlier just so I could make a point of it. Right, so with this one, if I come down and I happen to be a little bit rolled over, well, that's all right, because that's just going to scrape. It's not going to catch, it's not going to dig in, it's just, you're going to get a scrape. It's not going to be as good a finish. You think, oh, I don't like that, right, I better come in and do a cut. Clean it up. There you go. Right, now, then we come over, this is a little 1/4 inch, okay? Little 1/4 inch spindle gouge. Look at the grind on that. That's an evil thing, isn't it? Look, swept right back. I very rarely use these, but if for finial work and small work, you don't use this one to do this. It's not for, it's for. And you can't do this, okay? Because what happens now, dogs are getting in again, up, always the way. Right, if I want to come down and follow this bevel, well, I can't follow. Look, I'm going to come down, I'm all on tip. I can't follow it because there's too much bevel, right? There's too much, it's too long. Here, look, I'm all on tip, I'm on tip. I can't follow it, impossible. Can't follow around. I could try and roll it, come up higher and roll it round this way. I might get away with it, I might be able to do it. It's not something you're going to be able to do, you're a new turner, okay? This isn't for that. This tool is for doing nice little, come in and do nice little detail work, okay? Because I can get in and I can make nice little cuts like this. But I can also get that very easily. And this, right, look, what's happening? What's that chisel, right, what's that chisel doing? Look at it. Oh, that's nasty, evil, right? Why? Why is it doing it? Because I've got no bevel. Why can I come in with a normal chisel and run down, but I can't do this? Why is that doing that? Why is that skipping? Look, I'm holding it because I don't want to actually get a bad catch. But look, you can see, look, I'm coming in, and this is what you guys will get. You'll come in and you'll go, well, I'm not using that one. Right? Why? 2 reasons. It hasn't got a bevel. Second reason, I'm not controlling it. I'm not supporting it. If I put my thumb behind it, now I can come in and I can make a cut. But what I'm doing is I'm only using the tip. I've got no bevel. I've got no bevel supporting, so that's not going to be a nice cut. Fantastic if I'm doing little finials and stuff. Yeah, very nice for that. Right. Your equivalent to that in carbide is your detail chisel. Okay, this is the equivalent. Look at that. Right, we've got the same. All this is out of the way. Right, we've got our cutter. We've got a nice small tip there. Okay, right. But there's a bit of a difference here. And as I said, I don't do comparisons. Each tool, that tool has a job. I would not be without it. It does a job for me. But I'm just showing you the bad bits of that one. Okay, we can do some lovely little beads, lovely little detail work on finials and stuff. I wouldn't use that to do this sort of thing. But now I've got the detail chisel. So what happens if I try and run down here with this one? Let's pick up the cut, right? So I've picked up the cut. And I'm running down, cleaning up. I've got some little bits to clean up first. So let's clean it up. Let's do some clean-up work, all right? Right, now we're going to take a cut. A little bit of a lump there, so it's got to push that. I should have cleaned that right off, but anyway, there we go. Right, now I'm going to stop that. We're going to have a look at that. Right, you can see that finish. Okay, look at this. There isn't a single bit of tear. There's absolutely nothing. Okay, that is absolutely beautiful. Right, why can I do that? Why can't I do that with that one? Because like we said, keep my bevel in, it's there. But when I get here, look, what's happened straight away, you can see there's a gap between the tip and the heel. I cannot have any bevel control. And that's what makes it so aggressive. But this one, I can come down here and I've got, even though it's a very small, that's a 2mm bevel there. Well, how can I keep that 2mm bevel in? Because I'm only doing a small piece. I'm not going to use this on a big bowl. I wouldn't do that. That'd just be silly. If you do that and you get a catch, well, good. You deserve to get that catch. Don't be so bloody stupid. But on this, I can come in here and I can run this bevel. Look, I can follow. You can actually see, look, that's another angel's eyelash. I'll give that to that angel when I see her later. That's an angel's eyelash. I'll give it to you, my darling. You're my angel. Right, okay. Right, so here we come. We come down here and I can ride this bevel and I can stay in contact all the way down to the end. Okay? And I can do that. Now, I'm just going to slowly tool rest in a little bit. I always say keep your tool rest close. Keep your tool rest close and your enemies at distance. Right. Now, I want to roll beads. Well, I can come in and do that. Not beads, I mean a little cove. Don't quote me on anything. Little cove like this, right? I'm going to do a little cove. Right. Now, I can come in, I can do a little cove. And I can come in, I can start my cut here. But why? Why can I start my cut there and not get that skip back? When I tried that with the other one, it just skidded back and ruined the piece. I come in on here with my edge up. What? Oh. Oh. Well, I was expecting that was going to skip back on me. I wonder why it didn't. And I'm not talking to you like you're idiots, people. I really ain't. You know, I want to put it into terms that you can understand it. So why didn't I? Why has that not skipped back? Because it's got a bevel. Because I can ride that bevel. And I can do this sort of work without any fear. So what it allows me to do is concentrate on this and not worry about this. I don't have to worry about where this cutter's coming in. Right, I'm going to pick up, look, the finest of wisps coming off of that. I mean, these are, look, I can't even pick that up. I'm breaking it, I'm breaking it trying to pick that up. That's so fine a cut I'm taking off of here. Okay? And I can actually come in here and I can actually roll, look, got a little cove in here. I want to get a little cove, I want to get a little cut in. Look, I want to put a little feature there. And I can do it because I've got a bevel. Bevel is the most important thing on all your tools. Everything that has a bevel, you can control. Okay? If you just got a sharp edge, you can't control it. Same with scraping, you can't, because you've not got a bevel. You've got no bevel in control. Get your bevel in, and that's your control. Okay? And there's your look, there's your finish. You don't, if you're doing detail work like this, you don't want to be coming in with 100 grit or 120 grit paper. You don't even want to come in with a 240 grit paper. You want that detail to stand out. You want that crisp cut edge. That's what you want. You don't want to be having to sand that, because you'll take that away, you'll round it. So, and that's what you can do. Now, like I said, I don't do comparisons. To me, this tool is fantastic. But in all honesty, for any finial work, my choice is this over this. You know, if you wanted to do a comparison, I mean, sure, this is a traditional, it must be better. Well, I can take that one and I can cut aluminium with it. I can come and do this with it. I could cut paper with it. I've hollowed the bottom of a ring box with it. I've done a snowman's hat. I can actually go in and do a little bit on a small bowl. I wouldn't do a big bowl. I'd do like a box or something. The minute that touches a bit of aluminium, that tip's gone. That's it. I'm gonna have to regrind that. Okay. I can't follow this curve down here, and I certainly wouldn't use that to be hollowing out the bottom. So in that sense, that would win hands down. If I want this, if I want to just turn little things like this and little finials, I will have to keep sharpening this one. This one, I don't know when I'd ever sharpen that. That would last me for years if I'm doing this sort of work. Okay. If I'm just doing these little cuts like this and all I'm doing is this, I'm probably never going to sharpen it. And when it does go a bit dull, I've got another tip there, I'll just turn it round. And then when I do need to sharpen it, I'll sharpen it. And again, it brings me on. I know, I watched Colwyn yesterday. Don't get me wrong, I don't knock Colwyn. I'm a fan of Colwyn's. Or I don't love it. I don't want to marry him, I think. But I'm a fan of Colwyn's. I like the work he does. I like the way he explains. I like the pieces he does. I like it. I've never met him, but I like him. Yeah. But there were a couple of questions there. I was waiting for someone to answer it. Because someone asked the question a couple of times. Can you sharpen your carbide cutters? Yes, you can sharpen them. Yes, you can. Don't throw them away. It's very easy. I've done a little video on it. I have demonstrated. And all you need, people, is that. Okay? That's all you need. A little diamond card. Okay? These aren't dear. These are waterside. They're like £2.50 each. These were. I bought them a little while back. I will say, get a nice thick plate. The thicker the plate you can get, the better. Keeps it nice and flat and true. This one I've been using this one for about 8 years, 7-8 years now. Been using this one. 600 grit you want, but like anything, it's like your CBM wheels. When I got that one, that's a 180 grit, but after, well, I've had that on there for about 4 or 5 years. After a couple of years of using it, it wears down. It's not actually 180 grit now. It's probably down to about a 220 grit or something like that. Perfect. Same as this. It's not 600 grit now. It's worn down a bit. And all you do, get your cutter. I've shown you before. Put it face down. Put it on there. Get a few circles. Don't overdo it. You don't. Once you get the black off, you're taking carbide off. Once that's a bit of black, that's the carbide coming off. Don't waste your cutter.
A bit of WD-40.
Yeah, I use a little bit of W. You can get lapping fluid. I'm not knocking it. Trend do lapping fluid. They do their cards. Fantastic. If you've got the money, you can afford to buy one. Go and buy one. You will not regret it. You'll love it. If you ain't got that, you got this. Okay. If you've retired recently, you've got your pension, but you want to do a bit of wood turning and stuff, it's not out of your price range. You know. If it is something, I would my only thing I would say on Axminster, I've got Axminster lathe, I've got Axminster tools and stuff. The only thing I find my problem with Axminster is they don't do a cheaper range. And Axminster, I think you need to look at it. I really do. You need to do an economy range. You need to give people other options. It's buy that or buy nothing. It's expensive. You're getting to a point where, sorry, but if you haven't got a credit card, mate, you can't come in the door. Because that's how it gets. People can't afford it. You've got to give them an alternative. Not everyone can afford to come in and spend £500–600 out on a few turning tools. Some people ain't got that money, but they still want to turn. So, and I think nowadays you're finding there's more people without money than there is with money. It's getting that way. You're losing a lot of custom because a lot of people just can't afford the stuff. They can't afford to go into those shops, and unfortunately the shops that do sell the cheaper stuff are disappearing because they're not getting the trade, and it's getting hard. It's getting hard. It really is. Anyway, enough waffling about that. Your cutters. Right. So I'm doing myself out. The better thing is, no, you can't sharpen them. Buy a new one. They last about, oh, I don't know, 5 weeks, and then buy a new one, okay? I've got them on my website. Just go on there and purchase them. That's best for you, mate. That's business. That's business. But I'm not here to rip you off. I'm sorry. No, don't. I've had people buy chisel sets, and 2 weeks later they come back and they buy another set of cutters. And you'll know who you are because you've done it. I don't need to, what's it, and then another 2 weeks later you bought another set of cutters. And then you come back and you buy, and I send an email. I say, sharpen your cutters. What are you eating them? You can't go through them at that time. You just can't. You just can't use them that quick. Really, don't do it. Don't waste money. Don't throw it away. Buy yourself another chip. Buy yourself a bolt. Save. Don't buy those cutters. Go and buy yourself a bowl gouge or spindle gouge and start learning to use it alongside your carbides. Because you'll find carbides have got a job, traditional's got a job. You know, if you want to hog down a load of bowls and you're not in immediate rush to do it, hog it all out with a carbide. Finish it off with your spindle gouge, your bowl gouge. You'll only have to sharpen once. It'll be sharp. You won't even have to go back and sharpen it. You're only going to make 1 or 2 cuts. Then you put your next bowl on, get your carbide out, rough it all down, get rid of it all. And then come in and make you a nice little cut, if that's what you prefer to do. Roll your tool over, you can finish it with your carbide. You can do your bowls all day long and you still won't have to sharpen. And when you do have to, don't throw it away. It's not ruined. It's gone dull. Yes, right, okay. Whack it on there. Finger on it. Circles. Bit of black. Right. Give it a few seconds more. Done. That's it. Don't. You're wasting carbide. Okay. Take it off. Put it back on. It's sharp. Okay. You can do that. I can't say how many times you can do it. I've not worn one away. It's a hard stuff. So, and you can turn your carbide cut around. You've got sharp edges. So don't just take it off and sharpen it. If you round cutter, you think that's not quite as sharp. Just turn it round. But remember as well, when you're cutting different woods, sometimes you might think that's gone dull. Because, well, I used it yesterday. That was hogging away. I've gone today and it's blunt. It's not cutting. No. What wood you turning? You turning exactly the same wood? You might be turning harder wood. It cuts a bit slower. It's just a little bit slower. That's all. Just give yourself a little bit more time. It don't necessarily mean it's blunt. You know if it is, right, loosen your screw, turn it round, tighten it up. If it's cutting better, well, that side's gone a little bit dull. Okay. So when this side goes the same, take it off, give it a sharpen, put it back on. You don't need to buy a cutter unless you break it, chip it, or do something, or you've sharpened it so much you've worn it out. Okay? That's a bit on sharpening. So, yes, you can sharpen them all. If a thing can be sharp, it can be sharpened. A razor blade can be sharpened. Okay? A Stanley blade can be sharpened. A knife can be sharpened. A chisel can be sharpened, everything.
The AU cutters to sharpen.
The AU cutters, they're slightly different.
I
did a video on that. You can make a little dowel go in. You can be careful because you have got that edge. You haven't got so much cutter to play with. You know, on your AU cutters, when you come up to this top here,
just focusing a bit.
You haven't got a lot of carbide. It's just the nature of what they are. I mean, in all honesty, you should get a long time out of them, really long time, unless you're cutting something extremely hard that's going to wear it down. You should get a long time. As I said, originally they cut aluminium and everything, so but you can sharpen them, but you do have to sharpen around the bevel, so you have to take your time. Again, on a diamond card, go down, use a bit finer grip maybe, so you're not so aggressive on it. Don't try sharpening them on grinders. Don't try it on CBM wheels. Don't try it on any kind of wheel, because you will just grind it away. It'll disappear. That'll be it. It's ruined, right? Just mount it on a spindle, turn it, and just come in and brush it. You just get that sharp edge back on it. But in all honesty, the amount of time that's going to last you can turn it round again, and then yeah, you might have to throw it away and buy a new one. There you go. But don't throw it away, because it will never be blunt. It will never be blunt. You won't blunt one of these to the point it won't cut. So keep it for doing a bit of roughing down on outside work, when you can push it a little bit harder. When you come to want to make your real nice fine cuts, well, there you go. You use your real nice new sharp one. But I have 2 chisels. I have more than one available. Buy 2 chisels. One for that and one for that. There you go. I don't mind. I'm quite happy. I'll sell it to you. So, that's that. But I must say, guys, go carbide. Come on, get off of this carbide scrapers and... I've never known it. There's no other tool in the world. But I've said to you, oh, yeah, I'll cut that with a handsaw. Oh, okay, mate. Must have taken you a bit of time. Yeah, it did. Yes. Oh, I used a chop saw yesterday. Oh, good. Yeah, good days. Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I got my little block plane. I've done some planing. That's nice. I used my router table the other day. Yeah, that's all good. I used a carbide chisel. What? You're a scraper. Carbide? What you talk? Why? Why? The word carbide. Why? I don't understand it. I used a carbide chisel to do it. You're a scraper. I've told you, my friend Peter. Okay. I can talk. He has given me full permission to talk about it. He's testing a few cutters for me. The reason why, because Peter's 71 this Friday, so a big happy birthday for him for Friday. He's a new turner. I first got an email from him to ask me about. I think actually, I'm sure his wife phoned me up.
Yeah.
Yes, to ask about what chisels, and I said, what does he want to turn? What size lathe have you got? Because that's important to know. What room have you got? Can you swing over this side? Can you do what lathe you got? What bed? Can you use a long handle? Do you need a short handle? And I recommended what tools to buy, and he bought the tools, and lovely, and he started doing a bit of turning. And I mean, I'm not into all this technology videos. You people that go, oh look, here's something someone done earlier, and you put a little picture up in the corner here, you know, there's a picture. Well, I ain't into all that. I don't get that. But when I've done my nutcracker, Peter made a nutcracker. That's his first project, his first actual thing he's done. New turner. Okay, he'd only practiced on a couple of bits of pine, which were knotty holes in, just to do a few cuts. He done a nutcracker. That nutcracker is fantastic. He hasn't even put a bit of sandpaper to it. He watched me do mine, and he watched me skew cut with the square chisel, and he's skew cut, and his legs are matched perfectly, his arms match perfectly, his body. I really hope he's trying to do a few videos so he can show me some of his stuff, and I really hope he will put his nutcracker on there and show you, because for someone who's just started turning and to do that, it's absolutely fantastic, and praise to you, Peter, really is. And because of that is why I've asked him if he will test. I want him to test my hollower chisel that I'm bringing out for him. I want him. I know there's chisels out there. People say, oh, copying this, copying that. Well, I first done that chisel long back, over 10 years ago. Mike Walt done a review for me on some of my carbide chisels. He asked if it would be all right if he done them. He bought, and I said, yeah, fine. And I actually told him that, and he mentions it on there that I've done a chisel that had 3 heads. Same thing. I've done it on a square bar. I used to supply, you could put router bits in. It's exactly the same chisel. I had that chisel with those cutters over 10 years ago. So I'm not copying no one. I'm just reviving it.
Yeah, reviving it.
Bring it back because people want it. I started doing it, and I was selling that more. I started to do the sets of chisels and do the 3 sets. So I discontinued the other one. It's very time consuming. I've got to make the heads up and do everything, and then that makes it pricey. Then it puts it out of people's price range. Can't keep doing it. So I'm not interested in putting chisels out of people's price range. I want everyone to be able to afford them. And I know I'm waffling, and I'm going to carry on waffling because I have at least one fan
of the waffle.
One fan who is quite happy for me to waffle. So if only one person's watching this, and if you're still watching, thank you very much, and I will stand here and waffle for you. I'm happy to do that.
Bye then.
Yeah, so so yeah, that's not a copy of anyone's tool. I was making that tool years ago, okay, with the heads and everything that go in the end. And I didn't have the 6 and 8 mil cutters. I used to do the 10 mil AU cutter. Some of you might remember I used to do a big, he was lethal, that big hollowing cut, AU hollowing cutter. Oh, now you got that one wrong. That'd give you a catch. That would wake you up. Yeah, and I used to do the 12 mil on the AU, and Mike Walt actually done a review of that. He's still got it on his channel now. So yeah, it's nothing new. It's nothing new. And I've had this on my information sheets that went out with my first sets of chisels, and on my website, my instructions: roll the tool over to get a better cut. It's not something new. This is not something I'm coming out with now. This is something I've been telling people to do for a long time. I mean, I had a guy put a thing on a Facebook page. He said he bought a set of my chisels 20 odd years ago, and he's still using them today. 20 odd years. He had a set of carbide, you know. but there you go. I've done this for a long time, but my natural instinct, it's the same as coaling, because carbide weren't available when I started turning. There's no such thing as carbide. You had it in metal, but it weren't used in wood. I don't know whoever brought it, actually come up with the idea. People might claim fame to it. I don't know. I don't think you can, unless you went around the whole world and asked every person whether they've ever done it, and they'd probably be dead and gone by now anyway. You wouldn't know. But it's a fantastic idea, and it works, and there's loads out there. There's loads coming. There's no bad tools. They're all good, it's just who you want to buy from. If we all got everything from one person and one thing and done everything else, there'd be nothing for anyone else to do, would there? That's why we have choice. So you can choose where you buy them from.
And it depends on the size of your pocket.
I don't even know what I was talking about.
Well, natural instinct to roll over.
Yeah.
Just like
yeah, so anyway, Peter, get back to Peter. That's where I was. I know where I was. See, I just wandered off there. I was in my own little world. I was away with my fairies, weren't I? Right, yeah. So Peter's testing it for me, because what I want to know from someone of Peter's age group, and retired people that have retired and they want to take up a hobby, and a new turner who's got no experience of wood turning. I'll give you that tool, and I want to know how you get on with it. I don't want someone who's going to compare it to their bowl gouge or their spindle gouge, or and give me comparisons. I'm not after comparisons. What I want to know is, how do you find that to use as a new turner? Can you use it without getting catches? I know he's watched all my videos, so he knows to roll over. He knows what to do, and he's going for it. He can skew. He can left, right hand. He can't wait for this chisel, because he wants to do that back like I did on the bottom of the bowl. I've done a little bit of back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. He wants to have a go at that. Yeah, go for it, mate. Go for it.
Good luck.
Really, 100% go for it.
Yeah.
You'll get there. He's going to be a very, very good turner. He really is, because he's got an ability what a lot of people don't have. What goes in here and what he sees here goes here. He can put it to that. Not everyone can do that. Some people can see it, they can hear it, but they can't transfer it to this. When you can transfer it to this, and you can listen and see, and you can go and do that, that's what you need. And if you can't do, you've got to learn to do it. But Peter's got that natural like that. It's there. So that's brilliant for that. But as I said, guys, yeah, do it. I mean, get yourself some spindle gouges, get yourself some carbides while you're practicing. I mean, the main thing is can you sharpen that? If not, how long is it going to take you to save up to get your sharpening system? 2 months, 3 months, 6 months? Maybe thinking of getting it for next year? Right, well, you can't turn until next year then, can you? Because you've got to wait till you get sharpening stuff. Because if you can't put that on there, if you can't do that, if you can't keep that sharp, you can't do it. You've got to sharpen it. It will have to be sharpened. No matter what you turn, what you do, you will have to sharpen it. But what you could do is, in the meantime, you could use that. Because that won't need sharpening. And you can practice with it while you're saving up to get that. And you'll practice. And if you use it the same and you roll it over, you'll be doing that, and you'll be doing that, and you'll be doing that. And now I've got my money for my sharpening system, and I've bought it, and I've got my spindle gouge, and I've got it all nice and sharpened. And you'll go on there and you'll go, well, I'll go like that, and I'll go like that, I'll go like that, and I'll go like that, like I do my carbide chisel, and you'll go, it's no different. It's no different. I can do it the same. I normally come here and I just roll it over, and I'll do a nice little cut, and I can pick this up and I can roll it over, and I can do a nice little cut, and I can both of them. It's fantastic. And like I say, practice with it. Do a bit of practice. Drop that chisel down and pick that one up. Take a cut. Put that back down. Pick that one up. Take a cut. And soon you'll find you do like that. You just do one and the other. It don't matter. When someone says, "Oh, you're just a scraper," so am I? Your opinion, mate. Up to you. But getting back to Peter, so he joined the Woodturning club. He went there first time. He told me he's got a set of Carbide Chisels. They called him a scraper. He ain't been back since. Our Woodturning community should be better than that.
Yeah.
Should be a lot better than that. That's shameful.
Yeah.
That's shameful. But anyway, enough of that. Right, I hope you enjoyed it, guys. It's just a quick, very short, quick video. So, but I'm off. I've got to get ready. I'm off to see Bugsy Malone at the theatre. I'm going now. I'll get all dressed up. I done it yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well done.
It was lovely. Got all dressed up. You know, the old shoes, the proper 1920s shoes. Yeah, I'll get all up, all done up in the kit, waistcoat, coat, all that. Yeah, we turned up and the door was shut, and she looked at her tickets and it was for today, not yesterday. God. Yeah, so never mind. We're going today. I get to go. I've had a practice run yesterday.
Yeah, that was rehearsal.
At driving and parking the car and paying £4 for the parking.
Yeah.
Today I get to do it again for real. So there you go. I've had a practice go. So as they say, practice makes perfect.
That's right.
Right, anyway, guys, thank you if you've joined me. If you haven't joined me, then okay, well, that's your loss. And yeah, happy turning, guys, and keep going and practice. And carbide, it's not a dirty word, okay? It is not a dirty word. They're fantastic. Get on it, because I tell you what, the way carbide can work, soon, yeah, people are going to prefer carbide to a traditional, I tell you. You'll never get rid of your traditionals. I never will. Use both, use them all. I mean, come on.
It's progress.
I've got a chop saw, I've got a band saw, and I've got a hand saw. They can all live together. They can all live together. You don't have to have one or the other. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Use them both. Come on. Use the benefits for both. Because if you're not using them, you're missing out. There's a big hole there. Then you're missing out. Get on it. Come on, guys. Let's start a carbide revolution. Hey. Right. Toodle pip, guys. I'm off. See you later. Thank you for joining me.
Bye, guys.